Yo, we back again. You know we back again. Mancave101 Podcast. Welcome back again to our artist spotlight. Your man, Big Chase. Next to me, my brother, K-Lo K, the mama wanna God. What's up, bro?
What's going on? It's cold down here in this damn cave tonight.
And New York is now, I'm ready for that New York summer they be talking about.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
Listen, we back once again for another artist spotlight. We're talking to the hottest content creators in the universe. Don't forget to check us out, though, every Thursday, 8 p.m. for the Mancave101 Podcast. You can catch us everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch, Twitter, all of those things. You know where it is.
You got them all. Shit. We outside, baby.
I'm getting good at this. I'm not Aaron and Abel. The man in chair, they got that shit on lock. But we getting there. So listen, man, without further ado, man, we're gonna bring our special guest on tonight, man. My guy, Jermael Lessey. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's good, fellas?
Hey, man, welcome, man. So listen, we gotta talk, man. So Konkret Comics has become a family here at Mancave101 Podcast. You are part of Konkret, so you're part of the family.
Right.
So we gotta talk, man. We gotta talk about what you got going on. Let's see if we can't get you in. Let's hold on. I told you I'm still working on this thing. I'm getting there though. Okay, there we go. Now we can talk to him. I'm coming for your job, Aaron. I'm coming for your job. So tell us about your project. How you got started? How'd you get started in this? Let's start there.
You went from the beginning. My father got me into comics. He collected comics. He just passed it on to me. I think the first movie that got me intrigued was like The Rocketeer or some shit like that.
Okay.
So I've been real intrigued with from The Rocketeer, RoboCop, the first Batman with Michael Keaton, all of that.
So he's an old school head. All right, we good.
Okay.
That's what really got me into it. And then I grew up in the church.
Okay.
So
I did grow up.
But I was more intrigued with the stories in the Bible than what they was actually doing. So
you want the action parts of the Bible. Okay.
And then my sister being a fanatic when it comes to Greek mythology. So I said all that to say, when I started to dive into my comic book world, I fell in love with Spawn because he dives in that realm with the spiritual, the angel, the demons, and the gods.
Got you.
So then fast forward, I just always wanted to tell comics, and it just felt right to tell something on the spiritual side of things. And that's what got Absolver. So to speed it up, I ended up joining some publishing company, that took my money and run off with it. But it is what it is. I'm just joking. He's a nice guy. If he hears it.
That only happened to rappers. No? I guess not,
But he's a cool guy. But so, while being in there, I learned a lot. So on my hunt to, look for artists and help build my story, I found Lonzo. And he was pretty much doing the same thing. And I was trying to build a brand. He was trying to build a brand. And he was like, hey, yo, I'm trying to start this thing up and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll help you with Konkret because you seem like you need my help. You know what I'm saying? But ever since then, that's what it's been. So
that's what's up, man. Yo, shout out to Lonzo Star, man. Definitely good brother, man. We met up at the Schauberg. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely good guy and whatnot as far as I'm concerned and whatnot. So tell us about Absolver, bro. Tell us about this thing, man.
Yo, Absolver is the Wraith of Vengeance.
Okay.
The illest character in Konkret Comics, hands down. I'm just gonna.
You want all the smoke, huh?
Yeah.
You just want all the smoke for everybody else, huh?
You didn't mention how humble he was, bro.
Listen, I can only be honest. I don't gotta go out there and showboat. I don't gotta talk Absolver. You know what I'm saying? He speaks for himself.
Okay.
Absolver, the Wraith of Vengeance. Absolver, I was working on. He was a different type of character in the beginning, you know.
Okay.
And then I was watching the George Zimmerman case.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when George Zimmerman got off, I felt this sense of like vindictiveness. Like I just wanted to kill that motherfucker myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That type of shit. So, I apologize. I can curse. You know?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, this man.
See, like we can do that here. It's good.
You know, and so whatever Absolver was going to be, that whole night I just flipped it, and he just became this Wraith of Vengeance. So, and that's basically what he is. He's he's a man that died that came back to Earth, and as a mezzo. Now, what's a mezzo? You know, when heaven got its angels and hell got its demons, but right there in the middle is the oblivion or limbo, and they have their own spirits where they call themselves mezzos.
Okay.
And what separates the mezzos from the angels and demons is that they are purpose-driven, or they all come back with a purpose. And Absolver's case, his purpose would be vengeance, and that's just what he does. He just has a sense of carrying out vengeance for people, not his vengeance now, other people's. So whatever you feel or whatever you need to get done, that's what he does for the living and for the dead. And that's Absolver. You know, he's a killer. You know, he don't hold back. I don't know what else. What you got? What you want to know?
So all right. So let's talk about it. So what powers does he have exactly?
Okay, so Absolver has a shit ton of powers, but the only one that you've seen in the issue so far is this ability called Vanquish. Now, the Vanquish allows him to copy anybody's ability, intelligence, knowledge, skill set, and then he can utilize it.
So you just making them OP now. You just give them everything right there.
You know what? Because I'm the type of story I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create a character that's just a shell.
Okay.
And and because if you see in the first couple of issues, he doesn't abuse it, and that leads down, and then you will learn why he doesn't really abuse all these abilities that he can steal and gain. You know, so I can't give that away now, but
no. I want people to read this. I want people to learn this.
So, but I mean, I'm trying to tell the type of story where as Absolver grows and learns, so is the reader. So as the reader's learn, Absolver's learning too. So he doesn't know anything. So that's just where we're at right now. And I'm trying to. I really want to get him in a nice little roller coaster. Like right now, he's subtle with, you know what I'm saying? Now he's about to hit this high, and then I'm gonna take him all the way down. You feel me? So
shit, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, create some drama. This is dope.
Now, go ahead.
So how long has Absolver been a project of yours? Is this the first project that you did, and it's just one of those projects that just stuck with you, or this is something that you came up with afterwards?
You know, you're the first person y'all the first to ask. So here's the truth. In my plethora of characters, I was like, okay, which one can I use as a sacrificial lamb? You know, the one I feel comfortable that. Any legal shit, anybody steal it, I'm like, all right, this guy I can take the L on this one. So Absolver is supposed to be that guy.
Okay.
So I picked Absolver just for that reason, not because of anything else. And he just grew bigger than I expected. You know, and I love it. You know, I'm not mad at it. I love it. But, you know, that's just what happened.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Now, who is doing your artwork and your coloring?
Right now, Mr. Tomic, and I cannot pronounce my artist's name. He got to forgive me. I just call him Mr. G. I call him Mr. G, but my colors is Mr. Tomic, and Mr. G, you know, he's handling my artwork on the interiors.
Yo, the artwork is serious, bro.
Thank you. And because of their artwork and because of the learning curve when it comes to writing and art and all of that, I'm taking the same team to redo issue 1, you know, just to have that continuity in the artwork and everything like that. So that's another.
Now when you're writing your book, does your artist have a good representation of your writing into the artwork for you?
Yes, they really do convey, and I fan out. You know, I fan out. I usually like to give them as much freedom as possible.
Right.
That way, you know, I could just be a fan. So, and I think they do.
He's making him look like a menace, bro. He looked like trouble. You know what I mean?
All the covers, bro. He looked like he about to come for that ass. He want all the smoke. It really looks dope. It really does.
I appreciate it.
I think mostly I love the fact that the colors that he's using, the purples and the blues, and even the other cover with the greens, they're very dark colors. It's not a dark cover, but it's still like you can tell there's darkness there going on.
Right.
You can see the menacing in his art, in the artwork.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the artists they do a great job conveying that.
Yeah, this is cool.
Now, what I normally like to ask is, for your inspiration, which ones have you picked from, or which one have you say, okay, we got your backstory about where it came from, is the spirit, like it's like a vengeance, and you want somebody to be able to get to the vengeance either in death or in life, which is a fucking great concept. I love it. Right. But now, where do you get? I don't want to give away the story because I read one of the books before I started. How would I phrase this without giving it away? I don't want to give it away.
You mean my inspiration for the stories?
Yes. Because you said you like the Greek mythology. Is it based off of one of the gods, like Ares or what's the other name?
No.
Okay.
And yes. I've created a real in-depth spiritual world. You know.
Okay. So you created your own world around
Absolver is basically a pawn that's part of a bigger picture. And hopefully I am alive long enough to see all these players
come into play.
You know, because honestly, I have this one character who was supposed to be the catalyst of this all. Absolver is just like I said, he was just the one. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go Absolver. But no, when you talk about the entirety of the spiritual realm, when it comes to angels, demons, and all of that, I mean, I've created language for them because obviously how angels and demons communicate or what they call each other would be 10 times different than what we call it on Earth. You know, I've created, I would hope, my version of God. It's not really my version of God, but in a sense, I'm not trying to create the typical heaven and hell, this, that, and third, and all of that. You know, even your outlook on Lucifer should be a little bit different. No, I'm not trying to make nobody fall in love or feel different.
Right.
I'm just trying to be a great storyteller.
Okay. So you created your whole universe around
a whole spiritual. Yeah.
Boy, you must have went deep on that. Man.
A lot of people don't understand. There's a lot. For me, I put in a lot of research into everything. Okay. Because, you know, I want to tell. It's almost like, you know, I'm very spiritual, so I'm not going to say I'm religious. Right. But when I was a part of that, it's like, damn, bro, no matter what I do, no matter what I say or how I pray, it seems like God ain't answering my prayers, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I used that feeling and my physical understanding to create a fictional reason on why that is like that in the spiritual world. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's why these things take research. I mean, it's easy just to create and say this is going to happen. Right. But the one thing I feel like all writers are responsible for is, you know, even though I know you're reading something that's fictional, you need to believe like this is a possibility.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You wanna have that connection with your audience and to capture them. And one other way is to create your own, basically your own type of religion, your own type of spiritual, your own universe, and say, I'm going to entice you with this.
Right.
And here you go. You're enticed with this, and I'm going to bring you all into my universe. That way, you guys can get to enjoy it and actually absorb it, like he does.
Listen, I think that in this day and age, readers are a lot more complex than when we first started reading comics. And really, these are more graphic novels than just plain comic books anyway.
It's better than the banging pals that we used to get.
Yeah. You remember trying to read the little action when somebody gets hit and it's just like PBMF. Like, how do you perform? Perform? You got okay. I just remember I think it was a Hulk versus Thor comic when I was younger, and like the Hulk hits Thor, and it's just, I don't know what the hell it said. I was just like me and my friends were literally like around this comic. Now it's like the room, like like trying to figure out like what
yeah, Hulk has the weirdest, when he does the Hulk slap or the Hulk smash, he always has a weird ass sound that comes out afterward, and you try to pronounce it, you're like, oh hell no, okay, I'm skipping that part. Back to the words.
Like, okay, I get it. He got hit. All right, let's move on. So listen. So we're gonna sidebar here a little bit because with collectors and all of that. You have a comic collection, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have a ton of stuff I haven't even opened and read yet. It's crazy.
Yeah. Welcome to the man cave. So Marvel or DC?
You know what? I get into that debate for fun. I like if it looks intriguing, I'm gonna read it. I don't care what side it's on. But if you force me to pick between those two, DC.
Okay.
DC.
Okay.
I just think DC gives better, more rounded characters.
Okay.
In a totality.
Okay.
I think Marvel gives you a lot of good, great characters that are cool to read, but that's it. You know what? DC gives you a lot of characters that, man, I can feel that. I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like
it's more adult. DC is like a more of an adultish until this new line of Marvel came up.
Yeah, so I just appreciate DC a little bit more on how they write and what they present. To me, Marvel they just cool and flashy, which is fine. Well, they just cool and flashy.
That's a debate for another day.
That's funny. Matter of fact, we're gonna write that down, bro. We're gonna do that.
We're gonna have you back, and we're gonna debate this on another time. But this is about you. Also, I would like to know. Give me your comic book head. Give me your top 5 keys.
My top 5 keys.
If you could get them right now, no matter what would be your top 5 books?
My top 5 books I can get right now.
Yeah. Regardless of the price.
Regardless of the price, no matter what.
Yo, honestly, right now I'm heavy on story. Okay. So when it comes to story, hands down, we can Spawn. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going with Spawn.
All right, so Todd, Senor Todd.
All right.
Good pick.
I love what's going on with Moon Knight, but I'm not caught up with it. So it's still in the box. When they ship the comics, it's still in there.
Okay.
Right now, I think the craziest story with the backstories and the lore and everything's going on is that Power Rangers run, bro. Like, y'all have to.
Yo, I've been hearing so much about this Power Rangers run.
Yeah.
Everybody's been telling you, like, yo, Leo, you gotta get up on it. You gotta read up the Power Rangers run. It's sick as shit. I was like, dude, it's Power Rangers. Everybody's telling me, read the Power Rangers run. It has a very good story to it.
Listen, bro. From where I left off, it was crazy. But I am a fanatic of lore and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you know, I don't care about Batman as much as I may convey online, but at the end of the day, that House of Owls shit, like, bro, the background, the lore, how they tie everything together, and like never happened 5 years ago without an issue, bro. That shit is sick. So Power Rangers is most definitely. Honestly, I don't even know what my other two would be, bro. I'm just stuck with these three runs, bro. Like, I tried, you know, I tried. With Marvel, they keep resetting Spider-Man. I tried. You know, that's annoying. I was following Deathstroke at one point, but then they stopped that. So it's like the things that I want to read, they keep stopping and resetting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm over it, man.
It's getting so hard for some of these. I'm guessing that they're having, once the writers of the books, like the Spider-Man, they had the great writer there. And then I'm guessing that he had a contract for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to give him what he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
and also,
that's what messes up a good line. It messes it up.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. Yo, Invincible. Like,
yes.
Yes. Late. I know I was late when I started reading it. And this is before the Amazon.
Right.
Okay.
And I was like, why did I sleep on this shit? Like, yo, Invincible is a great. Everybody's always talking about the relatability in Spider-Man. I'm like, yo, you have not read Invincible.
Yeah.
Yo, he is.
Yeah.
So definitely, Invincible. I have to. Yeah.
Did you start any of the boys yet?
Besides the boys,
You know, I haven't read any of the boys,
bruh.
Woo!
Listen,
I'm gonna tell you why. When I first saw MCU Civil War,
yes,
I was like, man, this shit is not good.
What, Civil War?
The movie.
You didn't like Civil War? We're about to have another debate.
Let me explain. No. And everybody's like, yo, you crazy, you bugging, but like, yo, that shit is not good, bro. Because all I can do is compare it to the comic book. Oh, and that's all I kept doing.
I have the same freaking problem.
So when I went back and I watched it again, because now my expectations have changed. I'm like, okay, this is a good ass movie.
Yeah.
So
I do the same shit.
Do I want to read The Boys right now? I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, I think that, you know, like I tell people all the time, origin stories is like, just get through the origin story. Like I don't really expect much from the origin story. I expect them to tell. If an origin story turns out to be halfway good, I'll give it a clap. All right, you got to get through that. After that, I want to see. Okay, now we're into the story. We know who the characters are. We know who the players are. I want to see all the smoke. And it's the same thing when you read the comic before you see the movie. They don't translate everything the way that we're used to seeing in the comic book. So by the time I hit the screen, you're like, well, that's not the way that happened. And that detail wasn't the same. And now you're just counting all of the things that don't match up and whatnot. There's a translation that happens from the comic book to the theater, to the big screen. It's just not going to get.
But you know what it is, though? They're not hiring the right people. Like, at the end of the day,
hey, they just fired somebody over there. They fired a couple big wigs out for messing it up.
I'm not saying that's selling good movies, but at the end of the day, don't bring people on board that can do research on the character. Bring people on board that are invested in these characters, that understand this.
That fucking that part right there. That part.
Because at the end of the day, yes, you're creating new fans that love to see something dope, but then you're kind of gambling with the fans that are invested in the shit, that's really spending the money on these characters, on their shirts, the toys, the lunch boxes, the underwear. We all in it. So it's like, I'm like, okay, all right.
See,
you know
this is why the Miss Marvel show on Disney Plus did so well, because that girl was a fan. Yeah. She was a fanboy who's playing Miss Marvel. And you can see the excitement of her going in and just acting. And it was crazy. It was like, how the hell, why am I liking this show so much? And it's a mid show. But I was like, wow, this is fucking a great show. It's because of her enthusiasm of being a fan and saying, hey, shit, she did a video before the show started. I got a chance to talk to Kevin Feige. She almost passed out. I was like, shit, this is a fucking fan.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you get that transition from you talk to the fans and you get them what they want, and also with these movies, we're not going to get a lot because all these licensings.
Yeah.
That's it. Because if we talk about the real Civil War and we have all the real players, all the other players that were missing out of that big battle right there, oh my god, that movie would have been fucking out the box.
At the same time, though, like Marvel is going through a transition right now.
Yeah.
You know, that whole Civil War could have literally been a phase, not a movie.
Right.
You know, and they could have. It was the elements of the comic that is missing from the movie.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, Civil War in the comic books was a civil war.
Right.
The MCU, bro, that's like brother versus brother, bro. And, you know, we gonna make up because mama forces us to, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing. They didn't have a lot of the key players to make that the real Civil War that we got in the comic books, because that run was ridiculous in the comic books.
And the other thing that we got to realize too with this is that even for a Marvel, this is, you know, this is unknown territory, because they didn't know how long these movies would stay popular, and they still don't. And even now they're trying to rechange to go through these phases, because now you have the top Endgame and Guardians of the Galaxy and you know, Black Panther. You have to top these things going into the next phase, and they don't know how. They don't know what's going to come or when it's going to get to the point where people are just like, okay, I want to see no more superheroes. So it's undiscovered country.
I put it like this. You know, I would love to see Absolver get to that number.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I already know how it's going to end. But it is my responsibility to make sure I put out, every time I'm able to release something, it is the best it can be. Because, you know, these things are time capsules. These things are time, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you're bringing in new fans on the phase 2 that probably didn't never watched phase 1.
Right.
You know, and then, you know.
And if you are, wait 1 second. If you have a kid and you haven't watched phase 1 and you just started off phase 2, you're a bad parent. I don't want to let that out.
Just so we clear.
Just to be clear.
Go back to phase 1 and bring them forward.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think you have a. If I'm investing my money and it's entertainment, you know, it's my choice.
Right.
At the same time, you have a responsibility to give me something. You know, at the end of the day, that's why I said I prefer the DC movies. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't the bright color, the fast pace of Marvel and stuff like that. But you can see they took their time to make sure we got the details of those characters and the stories being told. And I'm not trying to say I prefer Marvel. I'm not. I just say, like, you know what? I appreciate what they were doing as far as the characters was over there versus Marvel. Because if I didn't know anything about Wonder Woman and Batman, DC, I would have grasped that. You know, they to me they told a story, whereby Marvel just felt like, okay, this is what's going on, boom, 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 and it's happening. Now here we go, we're running, I'm running, which is cool. Like I said, it was good, but that's just my personal opinion.
Right.
But you know, that's just how I saw it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Oh yeah, man. Because we talk about the DC thing. We talk about DC a lot. First of all, me personally, I felt like they could have did so much better.
They could have.
I felt like there's a real lackluster in the DC that I hope James Gunn actually fixes. Because I'm a fan of both houses. You know what I'm saying? If you come from our era, DC was your first introduction into these heroes. I never was a fan of Batman until the 90s run of Justice League. I became a fan of Batman. But I think for me, the diversity that Marvel had that DC didn't kind of get right off was one of the reasons. And then plus I love anything cosmic, and there was just a lot more cosmic happenings going on in Marvel than in DC and whatnot. But I'm a fan of both houses, and I want DC to be competitive just because if they are, we as the fans just win. Part of the issue is, as it always has been, is when you start making this thing corporate. See, if the three of us decide to do something, invest it, and say, okay, Absolver, whatever, we can decide to put out the best product that we all love. But when you've got a company that is, 40, 50 deep just in the main boardroom, and everybody's trying to get their name on it to say that they were a part of the project, and everybody's got a decision that they want to make, sometimes it just doesn't gel like it's supposed to. And I felt like they just were suffering from that, especially from the older guys that might have been in the offices for the last 20, 30 years, who made a legacy off of the way that Batman and Superman were presented, who now don't want to see the new guys come in and change their legacy. Because we know that happens too.
And this is what I love about the new with Konkret and a lot of the other indie comics that are coming out. You guys are starting a whole new universe.
Yeah, bro.
And that's what intrigues me the most. And it's people like us that are making these great universes, and it's bringing a new light into the comic book realm, into the graphic novel realm, into the film realm, because we're talking to a lot of different people that are getting into, okay, we started with this and our Kickstarter here, and we made our plans, so we're thinking about doing maybe a 15 to 20-minute animation of our character.
Yeah.
So in all this new stuff, and you with Absolver, what is like say your 5-year goal plan for Absolver? Where would you like to see him go for the next step?
Honestly, I would love to see him as an animation. I think
he has the look of an animated kick-ass animation.
Right. Every time I write a story, I visually see it happening. I cannot picture it as a comic. It's a comic because it's the most affordable medium right now.
Okay.
But I would love to see him as an animation, a TV or movie. Yeah, most definitely. But again, at the end of the day, if we're being honest, I enjoy writing comics. I just feel as a man, and then as a black man, I have a certain responsibility to my community, and for those that read Absolver, when you see the beginning of issue 2, as a man that has a son, that's how I feel.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So Absolver, like I'm writing issue 5 right now, and everything that's happening in issue 5, like Absolver will tackle a lot of real events.
Okay.
Of course I'll make it fictional, switch the names a little bit, but this is shit that's really happening. People might say, "Oh, Jermael, your mind's twisted," or no, like people live this. There is parent out there that wish there was an Absolver that did this. There's some people that feel like, I wish I can be Absolver and do this, and that's why I feel that, and then there's certain things you gotta throw in there, because like I said, I feel as I have a responsibility. Like I'm not here to force anybody to say this is what you need to believe in and shouldn't believe in and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But if you caught on to it in issue 3, I kind of expressed my feelings toward their craziness of religion and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again, that's how I feel, and I have a responsibility. So when people ask me where do I see Absolver, being successful is very, very subjective. Some people might need $1 million. I, for one, I have $300,000 a year and I can take care of my family. I'm good. I'm not saying I'm gonna turn away Jigga money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm saying I don't need it. I don't need it. But so to me, being successful is like I tell my friend that's trying to get into it. I was like, yo, bro, if I was to leave this earth right now, you cannot take away the fact that I'm a comic book writer and creator.
Right.
You know, people around the world has read my story.
Right.
I was like, yo, bro, I'm successful. I may need more than $5 for a cheeseburger, but I'm successful, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. Leaving something behind that cannot be extinguished.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to me, that's what I want to leave behind. I want people to feel like, you know, if I want to do something, I'm going to accomplish it. I want to be a writer. It's cool to like, oh, Jermael, you don't look like a comic book reader or nerd. Like, what does that look like?
Yo, we get the same thing, bro. We get the same shit.
What does that look like? So, bro, at the end of the day, my responsibility is with every story I am telling, I am tackling it from, you know, I say this on every interview that I go on because to me it's important. Turn on your TV and just turn on your TV and flip. White man, white woman, white couple. Okay, black. Oh, they gay. Okay, black. You keep going and you keep going, and like that's what it is. You know, you go into any comic book store and close your eyes and randomly point and wait. Okay, white character. And again, nothing against the white characters because that's what got us into this in the first place. But so I feel as if there's 99 white characters, it is my job to balance that scale.
Yeah, exactly.
I have nothing against nothing else. I just feel like, okay,
you need a representation. I get it.
Yeah.
And that's my responsibility. And, you know, and please nobody take what I'm saying wrong. You know, I love everybody. I feel like everybody should have the right to, you know what I'm saying? I am just saying.
Want more representation.
I was just saying, when we're finally represented, we're now getting a majority of a perspective based on our sexuality now.
Right.
And to me, that is like, why? You know, I could go through 8 commercials, all white, straight, and I finally see a black man or black woman and they're gay. Again, not an issue, but why is that the dominant
narrative?
So again, I feel like that's where my responsibility lies. You know, I always tell people like, you know, I'm not an artist. I just love to create. Like, you want a new character? I'm like, word, I'm there. I design it, we draw it. Like, that's just where I'm at. So it's responsibilities to use any story I tell as a platform to get my messages out.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. And listen, that's what's up, man. So tell the people where they can pick up this Absolver and whatnot.
Yo, you can get Absolver issues 1 through 3 is available right now. Issue 4 is on the way, but KonkreteComics.com. Definitely my IG is Absolver _ Rate the Vengeance. And definitely check it out. KonkreteComics.com.
Okay, that's Concrete with a K, no E on the end, by the way. Whatnot. We don't want you to go to the other Concrete Comics and whatnot. All right, so listen, man. Listen, my man Jermael Lessey came, stopped by. Absolver, Konkret Comics. Make sure you go check it out. Go read it. Don't y'all guys have a new Kickstarter coming on too soon?
Yeah. Acolyte. Oh shit. Why we gotta talk about Acolyte on my live, bro?
Okay, never mind. We get back to Lonzo's story later. You're not gonna talk to this guy, Lonzo. Jermael Lessey, Absolver from Konkret Comics, bro. Thank you for stopping by. As we tell everybody, you are always welcome to come through that door. Yes. Whatever updates you got going on, come through. Let us know. We're gonna follow you. You're gonna follow us and whatnot. Hey, from Big Chase, Kalo K, the mama one of God, my man Jermael Lessey up in here. We out of here. Peace.
All right.